Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Andy in Singapore. If you haven't done so, I'd like to remind you to click the like and subscribe buttons because I've got new videos uploaded every week just for you. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this Seiko 5 Sports GMT. Alright, so this is one of the newer models, and I would say this range here, it was highly anticipated, and at the time of the launch they had 3 different colorways. The orange one I'm holding on today is one of them, and I think this should be the most popular model among the 3. The reference number for the watch is SSK005K1, and I would say this is the direct step up from the SRPD 59K1, which is similar in looks. Alright, it's got its orange sunburst dial and it's also got some kind of gold accents going on, and overall the design here looks very close except for this bracelet here. So for the new GMT models, Seiko has used this Jubilee looking bracelet instead of the more oyster-esque looking bracelets on the Sports 5 series. So the entire Seiko 5 GMT series, it has remained really popular since launched in June this year, I think, and even until today you will see plenty of reviews or new watch alerts on Instagram. People are just raving on and on about these GMT models. So we're going to take a closer look on how this budget GMT has taken the watch hobby by storm. And now with the lens zoom in just a little bit, let me just run through with you all the specifications of the watch. It's got a case size of 42.5mm. In fact, I believe the entire watch case is more or less exactly the same as the SRPD series. So case size here is 42.5, overall thickness is 13.8mm from the base of the exhibition case back to the top of the flat hardlex crystal. Now please note that this crystal here does have the cyclops state. Again, this is similar to the SRPD watch case. We've got a lug width of 22mm, but do bear in mind that the Jubilee bracelet here tapers from 22 down to 18 at the clasp area, and I think this to me is a step up from the more oyster-esque bracelet where the tapering is definitely less. L to L measurement here is 45.8mm, and you know, this one here has 22mm lug width, and I would say it is also sort of a strap monster. You can definitely put this one on rubber strap, leather strap, or NATOs, and whatever floats your boat. Bezel size on the Seiko 5 Sports here is 41mm, and we've got a crystal size of 31.5mm. And with the bracelet here unsized, alright, so do bear in mind that this is a really long bracelet. I think it will fit up to what, 9-inch wrist. So I weigh this one on the digital scale. It comes in at about 160 grams, and this is with all the links present and unsized. And for the new GMT series, Seiko has introduced a new 4R34 movement. I would say this is a direct relative to the 4R35, which is housed in many lower-end Seiko models. So it is a stock standard movement with the GMT hand added here. At the time of this video review, this watch here goes for around Singapore dollars 499. You can definitely get this one at our boutique, and this is where the watch was loaned from. So I gotta thank our boutique and Eric for so generously loaning me all these watches for my video reviews. Let's move on now and talk about the case design and the overall build quality. So I would say this is on the same build level and quality as the SRPD Seiko 5 Sports series. Okay, so I don't think this is as well made as the Prospex series. For some reasons, I think that the polishing here and the brushing, it is not as nice or defined as the Prospex series. Alright, that could be just my own thinking, but I think overall, you do feel that this is indeed an entry-level watch, and from things like non-screw-in crown and, you know, the transition from polish to brush finishing is not as clear and defined. I think this definitely is a step down from the Prospex series watches. But that's not to say that this watch is poorly made. I do feel that everything is very decent, just that nothing just screams top quality or very refined craftsmanship. I do like this new Jubilee bracelet because I think this new tapering here, the increased taper here, has really sort of made this watch look like the more mature sibling to the SRPD series. I'm also liking this female end links over here. So this is one thing that most bracelets here, they don't take care of. So many Jubilee bracelets out there, they are sort of male end links. And to round off this segment on the build quality, do bear in mind that this bezel here, the 24-hour bezel here, is friction based. All right, it doesn't click. There is no ball bearing or spring or anything like that. So it's bi-directional. It is non-clicking. It's friction based, but it feels really solid. It doesn't feel cheap or loose. And now let's move on and talk a little bit on the dial design of the SSK005. So I love this orange dial over here. So it is similar to the SRPD 59K1. So this is the sunburst orange version, which is quite different from the more pastel base of the SKX011. That one is known as the orange boy among all the Seiko diver fans out there. So here we do have a really nice orange sunburst. So just take a look at this light play here as I turn the watch face. You will see that this light play here, really makes this orange shade pop. We've also got a chapter ring with the 24-hour markers, and I think everything is integrated really nicely along with this 24-hour bezel markers. I think everything looks really good with this orange with a bit of gilt dial look to it. Alright, so definitely can see why this colorway is the most popular among the new GMT watches. And of course, this watch here does have a cyclops lens for the date window. So I think many of you viewers out there, you know how much I detest cyclops. So I can't really understand why Seiko has continually, applied this cyclops treatment to all their newer models. Okay, some of these watches are really nice. Example, the King Turtles or the Samurais or the newer Shogun models, but I just don't understand why they need to include the cyclops here. It really looks like an abomination. Okay, so please, Seiko, please stop putting such things on your watch crystals. And here's a look at the Lume shot of the Seiko 5 GMT. So I would say this is right up there with any other Seiko Prospex series divers. Sure, the markers here are a little bit smaller, but I think in terms of lume intensity and brightness, this one here definitely has no issues at all. And here's a staged wrist shot of the Seiko 5 GMT on my wrist. My wrist is about 17 cm. That's 6 3/4 inch for you. You can see that in terms of K size, it is not a problem at all. So for a K size of 42.5 mm and a relatively short L to L, this works really well. So I think this watch here is just a little bit too tall, coming close to 14 mm. Otherwise, I would say in terms of wearability, the Seiko 5 GMT is just the same as the SRPD Seiko 5 Sport series. And here's a quick size comparison between the Seiko 5 GMT and my own Seiko Turtle. So you can see at first glance that the Seiko 5 GMT is not exactly a big watch. It is visibly smaller than the Seiko Turtle, and even in terms of thickness, you will notice that this GMT here is still very manageable and very easy to wear. So in summary, I would say the new Seiko 5 GMT models, I think this one here will satisfy the group of Seiko fans or collectors out there who have been yearning for a GMT watch at this budget price category. So do bear in mind that this one here comes in closer to 500 Singapore dollars, and it is not exactly the most affordable watch. So if you compare this one to the SRPD 59 or SRPD Seiko 5 Sport series, we're looking at almost double the price. And sometimes you really got to wonder if it's worth paying double the price just to get the GMT complication. Is it really a must? So for me, I think with the addition of a cyclops lens, the GMT hand and all that, it is actually a bit too complicated for me, the overall design and the looks. So there you have it. That was my full review of the new 5KX GMT sports models. These are really good budget entry-level watches in the GMT category, but at the same time I would say they are also slightly unnecessary, because for this looks here I would definitely prefer the 5KX SRPD series over the new and more pricier models. So this is Andy in Singapore. I will see you next week. Bye bye.